I'm going to call tonight's meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to see such a good turnout for tonight's meeting. First, we will offer our invocation, and we're going to ask Pastor Calabretta to do that, and then we'll do the pledge together.
Father, I come to you and I thank you again for all your grace. Thank you for the City of Bowie. Thank you that you're interested in what goes on here, and I know that it affects businesses and people. And so I pray that you would just bless in the council meeting tonight, that you would just give a good understanding, and that you would just allow us to glorify you through all that we do. So bless this time tonight, these that are here, in Jesus' name and for his glory. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So if you're standing out there, we have a couple of chairs over here. If you'd like to come sit down.
There's still a few in the audience.
No? Okay. All right. Let's open up the meeting with items of community interest. It's the end of summer, heat wave. I don't know that we have any city activities that are immediately on the books that need to be made aware of. Do you guys know?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so then, city manager, would you like to say anything about tonight before we get started?
Oh, ma'am.
All right, then let's move into public comments. I'm sure that's why you all are here. So I'll ask you to go to the podium, make sure the microphone is pulled down in front of you, state your name, and the newspaper is sitting right beside the podium. Make sure she gets your name, and you will have 3 minutes to speak on the topic, any topic you want. Nobody? I'll go. Okay.
Thank you for having me today. My name is Brian Ford. This is my first city council meeting. Has my time started already? Okay. I'll try and go fast. I moved to the Bowie area because I thought that we were different. I had kind of grown tired of some of the big city antics and was looking for a slower pace of life, honestly. These flock cameras and what I think that this meeting is about is concerning to me as a citizen. I'd like to quote some of our founders. Benjamin Franklin, he had said that anybody that gives up liberty for safety deserves neither. I think that this is a very serious thing. I'm really concerned about it and the infrastructure that we're building for my children and our grandchildren. And I think that we should take this really seriously. And I'm against crime. I want all the crimes to get solved, but at what expense? If we put a camera in every bedroom, think about how many crimes we could prevent. But at what cost, guys? This is America. This is Bowie, Texas, USA. And I thought we were different, and I was disappointed to learn that we are allowing this constrictor to wrap around our community. I think it's serious, and I hope you guys take it seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I'm sorry, sir. What was your name?
My name's Brian Ford.
Thank you.
And I'll be honest, I live west of Montague. Some of my tax dollars go here. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to speak here, but I figured I would. And man, I love you guys, and I love this community, and I just hope that we understand what we're agreeing to here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Laura Flood. I appreciate your time and attention regarding this important matter. My family and I moved here about 2 years ago, and we quickly fell in love with this community. We attend church here, we started a business here, and we are raising our children here. This town is not just where we live, it is our home. And because of that, I care deeply about the decisions made here and the legacy we leave behind. I would like to respectfully share my concerns regarding the proposed use of automated license plate readers, or ALPRs. At the foundation of our country is the Constitution. not a document that grants rights, but one that protects the rights we already have. The Fourth Amendment guarantees that we are secure from unreasonable searches and seizures. It requires that government action can be based on probable cause, not broad, ongoing surveillance or innocent people. ALPRs, by design, scan and store data on thousands of vehicles every day, most of which belong to law-abiding citizens. They create a record of where people go, when they go there, and how often. Over time, that data can reveal deeply personal patterns, where someone worships, where their children go to school, or even where they seek medical care. This kind of mass data collection runs directly counter to the very principles our founding fathers fought to defend and enshrined in the Constitution. The Supreme Court has already recognized the dangers of long-term tracking in United States versus Jones and later in Carpenter versus United States. The court acknowledged that prolonged surveillance can violate reasonable expectations of privacy, even in public spaces. The dangers of error and misuse are not just theoretical. They are real, documented, and deeply concerning. In February of this year, in Sherwood, Arkansas, an automated license plate reader misread a single digit on an innocent couple's vehicle and incorrectly flagged it as stolen. As a result, they were pulled from their car at gunpoint while their 6-week-old baby was left alone inside. The system was wrong, but in that moment, their rights, their safety, and their sense of security were all put at risk. This is not an isolated incident. There are a growing number of documented cases where ALPR errors have led to wrongful stops, detentions, and dangerous encounters, cases that are readily accessible and increasingly difficult to ignore. I want to be clear, I support our law enforcement. I believe they work hard to keep us safe, but even good tools can be used in ways that conflict with our constitutional values, or can fail in ways that harm innocent people. We must ask ourselves, is increased surveillance the kind of safety we want, and at what cost? Because once systems like this are put in place, they rarely shrink, they expand. And the freedoms we trade away today are not easily reclaimed tomorrow. As parents, as neighbors, and as citizens, we are not just making decisions for today. We are shaping the kind of community our children and our grandchildren will inherit. I urge you to carefully consider whether this technology aligns with both the letter and the spirit of the Constitution. Public safety matters, but so does liberty, and the two must never be separated. Thank you for your time and your service to this community.
Thank you.
Anybody next?
Thank you, Laura.
Howdy everyone, I'm Hunter Coomer. I live in Sunset, but I spend a lot of time here in Bowie. I bale hay around here. I actually got out of a tractor to come to this meeting. And I just wanted to say I'm very happy to see people my age out here. I feel like, I'm sure, this is my first meeting. This is probably a lot of y'all's first meeting too, but these flock cameras are a huge risk to our community, not only for the reasons of mistakes that it can make, but these private companies have there's no way to govern these private companies. They can sell our data. They are collecting and selling our data to companies to, like she said, they can track your habits. They want to sell that. These companies are not the government. They do not have your best interest in mind. All they care about is making the most profit. And if we allow these companies to put cameras and track us to destroy and strip our liberty of privacy and freedom, then we'll have nothing left, basically. I just want everyone here to know that it is extremely important to me and my generation especially here, and I know a lot of them don't show up or can't show up because of work scheduling and stuff like that, and most people here don't even know that we have town meetings. Feels so important to me to stand up here and talk about this. It's so sad to see that every community around us has adopted these cameras without any kind of safeguards, and it's just deeply concerning to me. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Evan Trim, and I moved here in 2022, but my family has had history here longer than that. We had a repair, I don't remember too many of the specifics. It was my great-grandparents, but we've had a lot of roots here, lived on family property since coming here, and Bowie has been an amazing town. I've worked in fast food for most of my life as an adult, and I've served, I think I recognize several of y'all's faces here, but specifically regarding the flock cameras, I'm very concerned about them because there is a lot of lack of oversight regarding them. Before I get into that though, whenever we got in here, we said the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. not to China, not to Jeff Bezos, not to Elon Musk, not to Mark Zuckerberg, to the American country, the American people. Those are our values. I want to share specifically the couple that the lady over here was talking about. I believe it was you, right? Yeah, their names were, I have it written down here, Hugo Pera and Ariel Beltran. They're pulled out of their car at gunpoint because a flock camera misread their license plate. I put a post up with a lot more names and examples. They were more than just license plate being misread, though. There are police officers who use them for corrupt purposes. For example, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but a Milwaukee police officer who was caught using a flock system to track his ex-partner around 170 to 180 times. Orange County police officer, I can't pronounce many of these names, I'm not the best at that, but who used it to stalk his ex-girlfriend 69 times, her mother 24 times, and her father 15 times. These do not have oversight. They don't answer to the government. They answer to AI companies, and the AI companies have been lobbying the government to try to not have oversight. They do not have our best interests in heart. They have their own interests in heart. They don't care about people. Specifically, one company, Anthropic, has a bit of a better policy. They specifically asked the government not to use their stuff for public surveillance or for military use because AI cannot be held accountable the way a human can. The government has tried to crack down on this on that company specifically because they were arguing with them and they didn't like it. These companies, however, are largely not reliable. They steal public data. They purchase data from people who they say are reliable, but the people that they say are reliable are purchasing the data from illegal sources, who are scraping your data off the dark web, off of various tracking networks, things of that sort. So for anybody here who isn't as familiar, they do not have your best interests in heart. And even if the officers that we have today are great, and I'm sure that all of you are, I have a lot of faith in all of you, whoever follows you might not be later down the line. And if these systems are in place for them to take advantage of, it could only get worse. If you start and things are at the best it could possibly be, which I hope that it is. Do I need to go sit down? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Evan.
My name is Kylie Woodworth. Good evening, everybody. I am going to kind of talk about something a little bit different, but also involving the flat cameras. I do agree with everybody who has talked so far that these are something that we don't want as citizens of Bowie. I do believe that they are very concerning to our safety. But something else that I would like to bring to light. This past weekend, I and a friend have deep dove very much into all of this, not just in our city, but also the legalities of these. Yesterday, I submitted a Texas Public Information Act request asking for the actual text of the Resolution 2026-21, the proposed text multi-use agreement, and the documents identifying the cameras, vendor, locations, funding source, and the city's total financial obligation. As of tonight, I haven't received those documents. On March 24th, Resolution 2026-11 was presented on the agenda as authorizing to submit the MVCPA grant application. According to those meeting minutes, he explained that the grant involved 6 flat cameras and a $3,600 match, but did not give any further information. Tonight, we are being asked to approve Resolution 2026-21, which would authorize the installation and operation of automated license plate recognition cameras in the text right-of-way. My request is simple. I'm asking council to postpone this resolution until the public has had an opportunity to review the actual resolution, the proposed text agreement, and the information regarding the cameras, financial obligation, and the plans for damages. I'm not asking council to make a decision based on an allegation. I'm asking for transparency and for citizens to have the opportunity to understand exactly what is being authorized before the council takes action. If council chooses not to postpone this item, I ask they consider throwing this out completely. This does not preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and our laws like each and every one of you took an oath to do. Please consider and uphold that truth. My concern tonight is that the public has not yet been provided any of these documents showing exactly what is being authorized and, of course, the city's full financial obligation to these. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. My name's Levi Bailey. I'm here on the flock cameras. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to take a different side of this. I understand everyone's very concerned about their First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments being violated. Personally, I don't think the flock cameras go far enough. That's why I've spent the last week building an app called the I'm Not Guilty app. It'll allow Bowie citizens every day, every hour, to check in and confirm that they have not committed a crime. Now, that's just the first version of the app. The second version is actually going to utilize, and by the way, I've actually built this app, have a QR code for anyone that wants to download it, have screenshots if the council's interested. The second version is going to utilize your camera and microphone so you can continuously upload to the police what you're doing every minute of the day. After all, if you haven't done anything wrong, no reason to not do that. Third version is going to utilize biometric data so we can monitor your heart rate and tell if you're ever nervous passing a bank or perhaps going to a city council meeting, just to be on the safe side. Of course, use of this app is going to have to be mandatory. And anyone that resists, well, for the safety of everyone involved, we should probably preemptively put them in a prison cell. And then if they need to go see their family or go to a city council meeting, police can escort them to it and back, guaranteeing safety of the whole community at all times. Now, I know what I'm saying is obviously intentionally absurd, but each individual step can be justified in exactly the same way. It might help solve a crime, it might make law enforcement's job easier, and innocent people have nothing to hide. So perhaps the question before us is not simply whether flock cameras are good or bad. The question is, at what point do we stop being citizens whom the government must have reason to suspect and become suspects who must continuously prove our innocence? Thank you for the time.
Hello, my name is Brandon Walker. You all know me. I live here in Bowie. Flock cameras may be sold as a crime-fighting tool, but we have to ask a bigger question. What happens when the government builds the ability to track daily movements of millions of law-abiding citizens? Our founding fathers didn't fight a revolution so the government could create a permanent record of where innocent citizens worship, who they visit, what political meetings they attend, or what businesses they support. The Fourth Amendment exists because our founders knew government power expands if we don't keep a check in it. This isn't about protecting criminals. If law enforcement has probable cause and gets a warrant, then they already have powerful investigation tools. But collecting data on everyone first and asking questions later flips the American principle of the innocent until proven guilty on its head. Conservatives always believed that the government should be small, accountable, and limited. History shows the surveillance powers granted for one purpose often grows beyond their original intent. The question is whether you trust today's officials. The question isn't whether you trust today's officials. It's whether you're willing to give every future administration the same power. As Ronald Reagan famously said, government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem. That doesn't mean government has no role. It means that we should be cautious whenever it asks for more authority over our lives. Freedom isn't lost all at once. It's lost one reasonable step at a time. And then that's it.
I'm Troy Case. I've lived here since this was Piggly Wiggly. So I've been here a long time. And growing up, it was more my parents' responsibility to make sure I did the right things. And it's my neighbors or my friends' parents would let them know when I did something wrong. And I guarantee you I'd get my butt busted. So we don't need to give that privilege to an AI camera. We need to keep that in our family and make this community our family. Then on another subject, I know we're doing a lot of infrastructure stuff on the roads, but when they patch it with asphalt that's this thick, that's useless. I don't know if this is a contractor or a city contract, but you take there by CVS, the first rainstorm, it was sinking down this far. The roads in Bowie need a lot of attention, and I know our infrastructure needs a lot of attention. And it's up to y'all to help us make sure if it's not done right, that it's corrected. Thank you.
Nobody else? Thank you for all your comments. Let's move on to our agenda, council. First item on your agenda is the approval of the minutes from the July 14th meeting and the utility write-offs, 2026-19 utility and 2026-20 library. And we have the financials. So before we make a motion or I ask for a motion to approve the financials, the consent agenda items, do we have any questions on the financials? Brent, I'm gonna open with you.
Fantastic. So I started looking at the general fund revenues, the school resource officers, just
Yeah,
kind of,
Austin, please come forward. Go ahead.
looking at the year-to-date actual, we're over budget on those. Just curious where we go over, how we're, as we're doing this budget process, this may be more budget questions, but I think they're related. Where, is this a number that we should be including in our budget going forward? Where do these overages come at? We are on page, well, they're all kinds of different pages. 16.
Do you have a copy, Sandy?
Yes.
That has to do with what we bill the school for the school resource officers. We're billing them the actual cost.
So that would include some of their overtime as well?
I'm not sure about that. I can't answer that question right now, but it's.
So we bill that straight to them, and they don't really set an amount that they're gonna give us every year, is that correct?
Well, we set a budget for it, but what we bill is we bill based on what the officers make and their the salary and the benefits. So,
Okay.
and that varies as an officer changes from this officer to another officer. The new officer may make more or make less, and so that amount changes.
And then the 500,000, just right underneath that, the 500,000 that came in on a state local grant, which one was that for?
I'm looking to see where you're at.
Just right under that line.
It's the very next item.
Oh, okay. I can't tell from that. It's probably,
Just curious if FEMA paid.
huh?
Did FEMA?
No.
Oh, no.
No,
they didn't.
no, no.
Don't go to Dream World.
I know.
But it's probably, if I had to guess, it's probably one of the Department of Agriculture grants or one of those. But I'd have to get in and look at it in the general ledger to be able to tell you immediately.
Okay.
So since Austin's at the podium,
Yeah.
let's let him go over it.
Sure, yeah. I was just going to kind of go high level again, sort of like I did for that quick one we did for April. And this is just going over the third quarter. basically we're 75% of the way through the year. I know y'all spent a lot of time on the budget last night, so I'm not going to try to take your whole evening this evening. But I just wanted to kind of go over high level. Utility fund revenues are looking a little bit under in electric, but we're also hitting summer right now, so July, August, September should be big months, as they always are with electric revenue. And then also, on the flip side of that, water and sewer are right on pace. I think water is at 76% of budget and sewer is at 78% of budget. So they're right where you would expect them to be at 3/4 of the year. And then and even, better news is that expenses are all under in each department, electric, water, and sewer. So for the utility fund overall, net income should actually be even healthier than budgeted. So that's always good news. I told Bert this is going to be a good one tonight because it's nothing but good news. So that's a fun one, right? It's not I didn't get to start and say I'm not here to speak for or against flock cameras, but so yeah, the utility fund, like I said, net income should be good based on what we're seeing so far. And then electric, obviously we're all the way through July right now, so we've seen what electrics look like so far for July, so we know we got big months coming. So that's a good thing. And I was actually, even before the workshop yesterday morning, I sent Bert probably 15 questions about the budget, so I kept him busy all morning before y'all got hold of him last night. So then in the general fund, obviously, you're seeing that 500,000. I mean, if that was to come in, general fund revenue right now is sitting at 88.5% of budget at 3/4 of the year. So that's really good. The general fund revenues are healthy, actually even healthier than what was planned. And so, I was talking with Robert this morning. It's, when you do a budget, you're trying to budget conservatively. You're trying to make sure that you're not overshooting revenues, because if you overshoot revenues, it's just dream land, right? It's just dream revenues. So you don't want to overshoot revenue, but you also want to make sure that your expenditures everyone's getting what they need. And, so kind of on both sides of the coin here, we've got revenues at 88.5%, expenses at 70% through June. So overall, for the entire general fund, that's really good because you've got your departmental transfer in there. So that net income that you see for utility fund, that's just going to carry over and hopefully build a little bit of a reserve going forward, because obviously, as was mentioned, there's obviously infrastructure and things that you can always do. So having that capital plan, and I know with the budget last night, you went into some of the expenditures that you're looking at for next year. And it is always good to put together. I mean, this isn't something I've necessarily talked through yet, but like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan for what are some big spends that we need to do, and how are we going to fund those. Obviously, Bert's always on top of the grant application, so that's one funding revenue or a funding source you can have. Obviously, you could issue debt, those sorts of things. So, but just at a real high level, general fund revenue is good, expenses are under. So again, you're going to see a really healthy net income there, which just builds a reserve going forward. And then just quickly on the EDC and then the 4B sales tax corp, both are, you're seeing good sales tax and interest revenue. The investments are healthy and doing well. I know they had a CD that just I think it just matured like last weekend, so they should be, they should have a cash influx there to meet all their debt obligations and everything. So EDC 4B books look good. Expenses are well under budget there. I know they had some spend that they are either going to do right at the end of this year or the very beginning of next year. So they have that in their budget going into next year. So had a good meeting with Janice on that. So overall, city, very healthy financial position. We're not having to borrow a bunch of money. We're not having to, not that it's a bad thing to borrow money always. There's things that need to be done, but not having to borrow anything right now, being able to kind of build up a little bit of that reserve, which is good. And then finally on those last 5 pages, just kind of those ad hoc reports back there. One thing I need to probably look into, it looks like Second Monday is trending down a little bit. Like I think in 2024, FY24, it was at about 44,000 net income. Then it went down to 37. It's looking like it's gonna be more like 30 this year. So just trying to see if they're like what the creep is there. If there's either expenses are a little bit more, or we're not getting as many vendors, so the revenues are down a little bit. Just trying to make sure that it's still healthy. Obviously, it producing income at all is a good thing. Like that, even if you're running that at a slight negative, it's bringing people in town, it's bringing sales tax to town. So, it's a good thing. It's just you might want to we might want to look into that here in the next few months and see what's causing that trend in the current year. And then community center, again, community center runs to provide a service to the city, right? So it is looking very similar to previous years as far as revenue and expenses are concerned. Last couple, ambulance, right on track with ambulance is pretty much the same. If it's being used a lot, revenues are high and expenses are high, and if it's not being used a lot, revenues low and expenses are low. So it just kind of flows with usage. And then electric, like I said, electric should jump in this month, in August, September, and we'll see if we kind of creep up to that budgeted number. But either way, net income looks really healthy. So, and then investments, again, still in strong position. When I was looking at just future capital projects, I sent Bert, a couple page thing on should we finance stuff, should we, pay for stuff with cash, just kind of going through all the different options there. And obviously investments being healthy is a good piece of that. If those were not performing well, or if there wasn't much of a reserve, then we'd be in a different position. So, yeah, try to kind of hit all the high points there. And if y'all have questions on anything specific, hopefully me or Bert or Robert, somebody can get with you. And like I said, last time I was here, I'm always available. Give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm definitely happy to talk through anything, anytime. Doesn't have to be at the meeting. So,
When we're looking at, ideally, having revenue over expenditures, we had talked in the past, I don't think we ever put it into action, but having a certain amount, a certain percentage decided every year that would go back to an infrastructure type fund that was restricted for us.
We actually did put that in writing.
Right. Where is it?
Well, we're not at the end of the year yet. It's
So,
the
but that
balance.
fund-
We use the balance at the end of the
balance.
year.
And then, but now that we have all these infrastructure expenditures just right behind it, does it matter if we put it into that restricted fund, or?
We won't know what the balance is until we
Sure.
get to the end of the year. And then it's there for the council to choose which projects to use it
Okay.
on. So you'll definitely have a say-so on how it's spent.
Perfect.
Any other questions for Austin?
I'm done.
Okay, Austin, thank you.
all right, I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Austin.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Sproles, do I have a second?
Second.
Post? Truax?
Aye.
Holstein?
No.
Sproles?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
McEwen?
Aye.
And Shaw.
Yes.
All right, so the next, well, let me get a couple pages over. The next item on the agenda is the second reading of ordinance 2026-08, an ordinance providing a general election in the City of Bowie, authorizing the Montague County Elections Administrator to officially conduct the November 3rd, 2026 election, setting forth council positions and terms, establishing regular and early voting places, and establishing an effective date. That ordinance is in your packet. As you can see, we have 3 positions open this fall. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the ordinance.
So moved.
Go with Post, 2 second.
Second.
McEwen. Truax.
Aye.
Holstein.
Aye.
Shaw.
Aye.
Sproles.
Aye.
Post.
Aye.
And McEwen.
Aye.
All right, the next item, Mr. Calabretta, would you go to the podium? The next item for consideration is the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission to replat Lot 2R1 through 2R6, Block 24, original Town of Bowie, creating Lot 2R1-1, Block 24, original Town of Bowie, also known as 303 Jones Street, Unit A through F.
Okay. Of course, this is the property between Jones and 59, and 6 properties, small, being consolidated into the one big property. That's what the owners are asking for.
So do you guys know where the property is? It's the it's the little tiny homes over behind the old feed store on 59, between the old feed store and the county yard. They were platted into 6 individual back in, David, 21? 21, and there was an issue with the original plat. So I would like for David to actually give the council an explanation on that, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. When this property was replatted, they wanted 6 individual lots for tiny homes, so they could actually sell those properties if they wanted to, or rent them out, either way. after we approved that replat and built the homes, it was discovered last year that the surveyor made a mistake on the actual replat. So another surveyor surveyed it and discovered this, the property next door, and that's how we figured all this out. And so the owner paid to relocate 2 homes over to get it, you know, in the right positions. And the buyer that's buying it from the original owner now agreed to make it all one piece of property, because he doesn't have any plans to sell each one individually. So they're all the homes are on one big lot if this survey is approved and the survey is correct. Double checking it with another surveyor. It's pretty complicated.
Yeah, that's the reason the property owners hire their own survey, so that it doesn't fall back on us. But yeah, they were a little over, one of them was 10 feet over the property line, one of them was
Yeah.
a couple feet over the property line. But
Seen
he
that very
didn't.
often?
Never. I've never seen that. And, you know, I don't know, I know the original owner got with the surveyor that he had hired at that time, and they worked out some kind of deal with relocating those 2 homes, and the utilities and all that cost was between them, so, we're fixing this with this replat.
So that they've been moved, they're within all the constraints of the setback rules and everything, so we're just looking to, again, approve a plat on that same piece of property.
And to fix the plat, they had to make it one as opposed to, since all 6 units are
But
still there.
because, as I understand it, you would not be able to divide that property with the setbacks
Right.
necessary from one another for there to be individual property lines in between them. So the best thing to do was to put it all in one.
Could work out.
So basically, this is, we split it, and now we want to put it back together?
Yep.
Is that what it basically boils down to here?
Yeah.
Okay. Just in layman's terms for me.
I've got a question on that. How many homes are there?
6.
6 homes. One person owns all of them,
Yes.
and that's the person that wants it to one flat.
Yes, but he is selling it to another individual owner financing.
Bless you.
That he's gonna keep those as rental properties or whatever.
Correct.
If he ever sells it, it'll sell it one flat.
Correct.
It was just a little confusing.
It is.
And I'm sure it was for the people that bought it and sold it, and, uh-oh, you're on my property.
Right.
And the utilities, the stalls, still be on that one flat.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
fine. You're fine, Troy.
So thank you for explaining that to them. So what we're here for now is to reapprove the plat as presented. I think it's in all your packets.
Yeah.
So I would entertain a motion to approve the plat as presented tonight, all one piece.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. McEwen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Truex? Shaw?
Aye.
Holstein?
Aye.
Truax? McEwen?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
And Sproles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Calabretta and David. All right, so the next item on the agenda is to accept the Waste Connections Consumer Price Index, the CPI rate increase, which we do every year. It's in our contract with them, and Bert wants to give you the update.
We received the letter dated June the 23rd on July the 13th. I don't know if that has anything to do with the 30-day notice or whatever, but the increase is connected to the Consumer Price Index, and the Consumer Price Index went up 2.61% according to government figures, so that's the amount that they go up because of the contract is written such that. To give you an example, a polycart right now is billed at $17.29 a month. That'll go to $17.74 a month. And I just picked one of the big containers, the 3 cubic yard container. dumpster is $77.32 right now, and that's gonna be going to $79.34. And there are similar adjustments to that all throughout their billing cycle. So actually, we'll see not that much of an increase. It's just like last year, there wasn't a whole lot of inflation. 3 years ago, there was a lot of inflation. It went way up. So this is pretty good information.
And you'll notice that will take effect September 1st, not October 1st.
September the 1st is what the letter says.
That's what it said.
And we've been obligated to this by a contract.
Right.
Yes.
We really don't have any choice because of the contract.
How long has that contract got left?
20 years. I mean, I don't know how long it has left. It was a 20-year contract.
Probably about 15 years left
Yeah.
on it. But based on what I can see.
I'm
it's
sorry,
not a
did
bad
you say
contract.
15 years remaining on the contract?
Yeah, I would guess.
I want to say
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
2038.
2038. No, that's BTU. That's BTU. So it's a 20-year contract, and I think it started in 20. Maybe 19.
Anyway, long time.
So, and in cost comparison, I will tell you, the people that are outside the city limits, for that same $17 and whatever cent can, they're paying $75. Waste Connections customers. So, you know, having the city do the billing and the collecting obviously gives us a much better discount. So, I will entertain a motion to accept the CPI increase rate adjustment with Waste Connections.
So moved.
Shaw, do I have a second?
Second.
Post? McEwen?
Aye.
Sproles? Truax? Shaw?
Aye.
Holstein?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
And post.
Do what?
Did you ask me?
Yes?
Yeah.
No?
Did I say-
Post?
Sorry.
Post? Post?
Look, I'm sleep deprived
Post.
because of my kid. I am so sorry.
Welcome back.
What's your answer?
All right.
Yes.
I did forget it. There was not a check mark on her
I'm
name.
so sorry.
All right, so the reason everybody's here tonight. Next item on the agenda, please, Chief Green, come to the podium. The resolution 2026-21, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Bowie, Texas, authorizing the police chief to enter into a multi-use agreement with the State of Texas Department of Transportation, allowing the installation and operation of automated license plate recognition cameras in Texas Department of Transportation right-of-way and providing an effective date. I've asked Chief Green to give you guys a full breakdown on where this goes with this agreement.
Number one, I would like to say I appreciate everybody that spoke, everybody being professional and nice and giving us your opinion. I really appreciate that. Number two, I was born and raised in this town. I love Bowie, and I appreciate the gentleman that said he moved here because we wanted a small. I'm with you. I want what's best for this town. My family is here. My family's been here for years and years. I'm invested in this community. So I only want the best for it. Number three, anybody that has questions is welcome to come to my office and talk to me Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I have an open door policy on anything. So feel free, come talk to me. Now, what started this, my thoughts, let me back up. The Sheriff's Department has 4 flock cameras in this county, and they're waiting for TxDOT to approve 4 more. So there's going to be 8 flock cameras in Montague County operated by contracted with the Sheriff's Department. The state of Texas, Department of Public Safety, has flock cameras in Montague County. If you ever go to the River Star Casino, you come back, there's a camera right there. It belongs to the Highway Patrol, DPS. The state of Texas has those. The city of Wichita Falls has 2 in Sunset.
That doesn't make it right.
That's true, but please don't interrupt him and make your statements after he finishes talking.
I'm just giving you some facts. Okay, I didn't interrupt you, sir. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on. We can be civil and get through this.
I apologize.
Not a problem.
We understand other.
Okay, I'm just saying, they're there. Now, we have, and Captain Parker can probably tell me, I don't know the exact number, we have recovered several stolen vehicles with the flock cameras from our neighboring agencies. Most of them out here at the new Allsups, because they notify us, hey, this vehicle's come by. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be looking at y'all. No offense. a vehicle's come by, the license plate reader picks it up, it's entered, the vehicle is entered stolen by some agency, usually it's in the Metroplex, and they notify us. The county gets it, they call us, hey, stolen vehicle. And normally when we get out there, they see us, well, they whip into Allsups, and we recovered several stolen cars from there, which is great. It makes insurance go down. It helps people get their vehicle back before they're chopped up, destroyed, whatever. It's a good thing to get somebody's equipment or property back to them. So they start thinking, you know, if we had those, we could be better stewards of our community, help our citizens if somebody comes in here. So my thoughts were, apply for this grant so it doesn't cost the city taxpayers a dime to try to get these cameras at the edge on the state highways to protect, not to surveil our citizens, not to spy on our citizens. I don't have a problem with our citizens. I've been doing this for 30 years in this town. We have great citizens. The thoughts are protect us from the people that come in here from out of town, from other places that want to cause us harm, that want to do bad things, want to steal our things. Human trafficking, as you know, gets pushed on law enforcement. We're trained. Human trafficking, human trafficking. I don't want to have to answer to anybody and say somebody's kid got kidnapped and we were not able to save them. Something bad happened. So I'm looking at what can we do as the Bowie Police Department to better serve our citizens, solve crimes faster for them, because I want to do a good job. All of our officers want to do a good job. We don't want to be here just to write traffic tickets. We want to solve crimes and prevent crimes. So my thoughts were get cameras out here on the edge of town. Somebody comes in here, does something, somebody's Ring camera, whatever picks up a tag, we can put it in the system and we know, okay, it went out on 81 or it went out 59 South, whatever the case is. So when I came to you in March, as part of the application for the flock cameras, ALPR cameras, that was just to get your approval to say that you would agree to pay the 20% part the city had. So we went through that process. This one is just to, if you will allow me as the chief to sign the agreement with the TxDOT to put them on the state right-of-ways. That's all this is. But that's why we're at where we're at now.
Where is the state right-of-ways?
So the thoughts right now that we've already been through the DPS process with TCIC and all that and got approval, this is the next step, is to put one on 59 South, out close to the Selma Park Road, one on 81 close to the Hat Company, one out by the Ford dealership on 287. As you exit into Bowie on 81 right there, out by the radio station, and then on the west end of 287.
And who monitors the collection of this data?
So the data is in the system. We can't get access as the police department to that system unless you have 6 cameras. They won't let you have it. So we can't utilize the data that the sheriff's department and everybody else is using. The thought process is not to get in there and where'd this car go. The process is only when we have a crime to put that license plate in there, or if somebody has stolen a car, to get that information. Now, there's lots of things you can do with it. Some agencies, and I can't speak for every agency, but some agencies let everybody in their department have access. That is not my thought. My thoughts are only the detectives and myself. Now, TCIC and the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority, which gives out this grant through Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, which is funded by insurance companies a lot, they require that you adopt a stringent policy that if somebody misuses that, they will be punished. Now, you all should know, based on my department, when people do stuff wrong, they are held accountable. We've proven that. We've terminated people. We're not going to put up with that. Now, anything that you use can be used. People are involved, bad things can happen. No doubt, not arguing that. But I assure you, as long as I'm the chief, it will be used properly or they will not be here to use it. I don't know if that answered your question or not, but.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
During my research, I saw a couple of things. That there has been legislation introduced at the federal level to potentially remove these cameras, and also at the state level to eliminate the use of grants for the flock cameras.
Right.
So you were speaking of a grant to pay for this.
Yeah, that's it. Well, so you got to look at it this way. You've got a congressman or a senator who says, I'm going to introduce a bill. That does not mean that that bill is
Right,
going to make it through
I
it.
understand that the bill
you
has
know.
not passed, but the legislation is pending on the floor.
Right. But there's legislation filed on all kinds of things all the time. But the money comes from the state of Texas. Last week, of Interstate 35 that they were being installed. They want them on every state highway in the state of Texas. So if we do it or not, the state may wind up coming in here and putting them everywhere.
Well, then it doesn't cost us anything.
Well, it's not going to cost us anything either. We're getting this from a grant.
That's the other thing, when I was looking at it, it said that the city is responsible for installation.
No, that's included in the $18,000. The $18,000 the equipment, all that stuff. The city's required to put in the $3,600, but that's not taxpayers' budgeted money. That's coming out of a technology fund that comes back from the state again. You have to ask her. I'm not.
Ask it to the council.
I want to ask if there's any subscription fee or any additional cost other than installation.
Go ahead.
That all, yes, and all that's included in that 18,000. So if you do it, it's a yearly thing. So if you do that next year, we watch numerous cities and government go to this meeting, and they apply every year. And they have to get up and give a spiel before this board that they have down there. And so the first year's the highest. The next year it drops down because you're not putting equipment in again. You're paying for the subscription fees on a yearly thing, but that you can apply. Most of those places are not, all of that money is coming from grant money. Otherwise, they're not doing it. They're not going to strap that on a city.
And could you clarify for me, how many cameras are we looking at?
6.
6, because you can't use it unless you get 6.
Right.
What about additional, is there a plan for additional purchases of cameras?
Not right now, no. I mean, that doesn't cover every, like there's a few state highways or farm to markets that are coming into, they don't cover that, but right now we just tried to hit the main.
Are these cameras going to be stacked on top of, like, the sheriff department's cameras and DPS cameras?
No, they won't put them in the same. So, okay, that's a good question. So if we put these 6 when we put these 6 cameras in and if we get into the system, then that gives me access or us access to those other cameras the county has. So there's no need to put them side by side or in the same area.
But did you say county or DPS get 4 more?
The Sheriff's Department, Montague County Sheriff's Department has 4, and they're already waiting for the next 4 to be permitted by the state to be installed. So they will have a total of 8.
Do we know where they're going to go?
I don't know where they're at. I just found that out today, and I haven't called over there and asked them exactly where they're going. Now, they know where we want to put them, and I knew they were going to do more, so they knew not to try to put them in those areas.
So these cameras are just sitting out there in these locations, and they're taking pictures, like on the toll road. You get on the toll road, it's taking a picture of your license plate. And that data is just going somewhere until what?
It's in the system, for my understanding, it's in the system for 30 days. Now, if that license plate has been put on a hot list, say this agency says, this vehicle right here, and we know the tag number is wanted for murder, whatever it is, it's going to flag that. Now, if it's entered into the state DPS TCIC, that will alert automatically because it's entered as stolen. Now, let me give you another piece of information. You don't just, like I said, I can't speak for other agencies, especially in other states. This agency that I represent, you're not going to take a camera, took a picture, and go, oh, I'm getting a warrant on that guy. That's not how it works. That's one tiny little piece. We have to prove probable cause to show, and it's more than one thing. You're going to have several different things to put that together. I wouldn't just go out and get a warrant on somebody. I don't think a judge would sign a warrant based on, oh, well, a camera picked up a license plate. That doesn't tell you anything, really. It just tells you that car went by there. It's not illegal to go by there. It's one more little piece in the trail to go back. If you do a thorough investigation, it's one more little piece of breadcrumb to get you back to the right place.
So will other agencies that have 6 cameras have access to ours?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can't guarantee, I trust you in our department whenever I say this, but you can't you can't guarantee that we might have somebody shady in the sheriff's.
I can't tell you
department.
about any other
Right.
agency, unfortunately.
So that, I mean.
Now,
that
but
opens
as
up
you
a
know,
lot.
people that commit crimes don't stay, they're mobile. So you may have somebody from Wichita Falls that does something illegal in Wichita Falls. And let me back up. So City of Wichita Falls is going to be like I'm only going to investigate something that happens within this city limits, okay? So if I'm looking for whatever kind of offense, and I put that tag number in there, or the description of that vehicle, it doesn't necessarily have to be a tag number, and the camera picks it up, northbound on 287, okay. And then it picks it up on the next one in Wichita Falls. Oh, it just tells me that person's mobile. It may tell me I might need to call the city of Wichita Falls and go, hey, have you ever dealt with this tag number? And they go, oh, yeah. We've had that in the system. We've dealt with them both on a traffic stop. We've had them on, linked to car burglaries or what. It's just another breadcrumb and tool for us to maybe get some information from them that helps us start building a case. It's not designed, in my mind, it's not designed to just sit out and go, oh, where'd these cars go? The certain cars went by. No, it's only if we give an offense that we're trying to investigate.
And the next question is if you are, is there let's say a paper trail on who logs on to these
Absolutely.
cameras?
You cannot, Flock has safety features in it. We don't have it yet, but I've been assured they have safety systems because they know humans are involved. People can do bad things. Cops are human. They're just like, there's bad ones in every facet of life. There's bad people. They have that where you have a unique login. They know you've logged in and what you've searched and what you put in, it's not going away. That's staying. So you know you can audit that and make sure it's being used correctly and not being misused.
So,
He has a question.
Over here.
sure, go ahead.
This guy he's been waiting.
You made a comment that there's one shot that's taken, but it is truly a collection. And then you said Wichita Falls, if you go ahead and put the data in there, you can notify Wichita Falls, but you get the impression at one time it's only one shot. It's actually a collection. In fact, we've got these large data centers that are being built. And what my concern is, what it's for is more to collect all of our data. So it's stored up, and I have a hard time believing they're just gonna store it for 30 years.
That's what they say.
Well, that's what they say. And
Right.
the other thing is when it comes to police departments, there's internal affairs.
Mhm.
That tells me that there's not necessarily all police good. And I agree.
Well, there's no perfectly good in anybody, any facet of jobs.
It takes one person to go on this database
Right.
and ruin somebody's life. That's all.
Let's take her question.
Can I ask him a question?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted, when you had opened up your statement, you had mentioned quite a few times regarding human trafficking. So I feel as if maybe that is something that is strong for you. But specifically, I mean, a lot of us did quite a bit of research and got actual data. I just want to know if you knew that only 10 people in the whole United States have been not even verified of human trafficking, but in Los Angeles alone, 161 people in 1 month have been flagged falsely with their license plate number.
I don't know anything about Los Angeles or California. I sure wouldn't compare Texas to California for anything. So I don't know. But now human trafficking, in Texas, there's lots of things that fall under human trafficking. I mean, it can be all kinds of things. Somebody that's taken to make them do work, it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual related. It can,
Specifically with flat cameras themselves, there's only been 10 cases that aren't even verified in the whole United States for flat camera as a whole.
oh, you're just saying from flock cameras using it. I misunstood you.
No, that's
I'm sorry.
okay. From flat cameras, only 10, and that would include sex trafficking, any child trafficking, any human trafficking, and those 10 cases are not even completely verified. So those could also be false as well.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
I just wanted to make sure that you
Okay.
understood that was not.
I mean, the thing that started me off was for the stolen vehicles because we were recovering stolen vehicles based off the neighboring flock cameras. That's what started my thought process of maybe we can be better for our citizens and do a better job for our citizens. And maybe we can protect our citizens from these people that are moving in here that don't want to do nice things here. I do want everybody in this town to be happy and feel comfortable. Shouldn't have to lock your cars, but you do. It's not the world I grew up in. It's not that world anymore. Sadly enough, we can't act like it's 1950 around here anymore because people are evil. They're just flat evil. And my job, I saw one post, I saw one post on Facebook that said, this is a small town, the crime rate's low, we don't need these, it doesn't warrant it. Well, to me, it would be asinine to wait until we do. Why would I want my hometown to become horrible and criminal and run around where people don't feel safe and then me try to play catch up and do something about it? So I'm constantly trying to be progressive and proactive to try to make sure it stays a calm, quiet town for the citizens that I'm sworn to protect. And my job here is to keep the safety and well-being of this town, and I take that very serious. So to me, it's just another tool to try to help me do my job better so people feel comfortable living in this town. That's it.
Guy?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I got off on
That's
a...
okay, that's wonderful. But we're here to determine whether or not the
You're right.
council
I'm
is
sorry.
going to agree to the MOU with the Texas Department
Right.
of Public
This
Safety.
agenda item is only if you will let me sign the agreement with TxDOT. That's
Okay,
what it
but-
is.
There are, can't think of the word I'm looking for, consequences to the council not agreeing to sign the MOU out with the Texas Department of Public Safety because you're wanting to put all these on the outside of the city
Right.
limits.
Right?
So without an agreement with the Texas State Department of,
So you're
They're gonna
asking
go
me
inside
what's
this-
you're asking me what's going to happen if you say no tonight?
so,
Because we've already been approved for the grant.
so the only place you can put them
And-
is in the city limits.
With all due respect, and I don't mean this to come out wrong. Well, I don't know how to say that
You
without
gotta
it
say it.
sounding bad. I'm not asking your permission to have flock cameras. I'm asking your permission to agree with TxDOT. It's no different than any other tool we have at the police department. The council doesn't deal with the day-to-day operation of what investigative tools we use. We can use the money to put license plate readers on all the patrol cars that have been a standard practice since the 90s. We can use the money for that, or we can just move them inside the city and put them on city streets. We weren't wanting to drive up and down the neighborhoods of town and have it read everybody's license plate. We were worried about the people coming in on the state highways. That was the goal.
Right. So this MOU, that's what I'm trying to make sure you guys are all fully aware of. I'll get to in just a second. This is to have an agreement with the state to put them outside of our city.
Right.
Yes, sir, you have a question?
What's the chances, or are they already in the state of Texas, on mobile vehicles?
What's your question exactly?
Flock camera readers.
Well, they're not flock. No, the vehicles are not flock. It's the license plate reader.
The department already have tag readers and stuff. I see them down at Wise County.
Yeah, Wise County
They
does.
set up.
Yeah, the deal in the middle of the highway at Wise County that tells you your speed, it doesn't care what your speed is. It's a license plate reader.
Cars.
Okay.
And they got the device.
They got the devices on the, yes, those are license plate readers. That computer in that car is taking every license plate that it sees, whatever street it's on, it's reading it and running it through a database with the state of Texas going, is this vehicle wanted for anything?
So can flock cameras be utilized in the future for that?
Well, that's what Flock does, but not on cars. Now, I don't know if there's plans to put them on cars or not. They're standalone on poles. It's a different system.
If they're put on cars, they're reading people's faces, not tags.
Not faces, tags. The ones that are on the cars only are reading license plates.
The flock cameras do faces.
Well, it's taking a picture of the license plate. Now, whatever it gets while it's in the picture, it may pick up a face. But it's designed to pick up the license plate.
But it can identify a face.
Not to my knowledge, but I'm not an expert on that. I'm not the expert on that by any means. If you're looking, it's designed to pick up the rear of the vehicle, but if it happens to pick up the front, and it's kind of like a toll tax or sometimes it picks up faces.
So basically, whether we vote no or yes, we're getting flock cameras. is what you just said.
It's either coming in the city limits.
Well, with all due respect, it's a tool that your job is to set policies and to sign agreements and stuff. And so it's a tool that I am going to use. I'm just asking your permission because the state requires that I have to have your permission to sign if they're going to be used outside the city on state highways.
But you will have the cameras. The grant's approved and the cameras are coming.
Right,
So if
right.
we don't approve it, they'll be in town. If we approve it, they're gonna be at designated spots outside of town.
That's
Pretty
always an
much.
option.
That's an option, yeah. That's not a guarantee, but that's an option.
And then
We
one
have
more
questions in the
question on
okay.
the utilization of it. If you guys pull over someone in town at a stop, can you ask for that plate to be run during that stop to see where the car came from?
If we make a traffic stop,
Mm-hmm.
every single vehicle we pull over, we do that too, and we always have, since I've worked here 30 years.
Even
That's
with-
standard procedure.
even
Any
with the
any
cameras?
officer in a police vehicle can drive down the street and look at a car, and if there is some suspicion or some reasonable suspicion they believe something's being, they can just pick the mic, run the tag, and the dispatcher gives it back to them. The last
But does the
10 years or so, we can do that in the car. My car doesn't have it, but the mark units can reach over here and
Sure.
type in the computer
But do-
right there in the car, and it'll tell you who it belongs to.
But does that information come from the camera? In other words,
No.
yes, you can get the information, but in a traffic stop, theoretically, if we have those cameras, could you then see where that person came from before they're released or during a traffic stop?
You're saying if we had it on the cars? If we
You
had
call
the,
it in and have them enter the number to see where the car came
the
from.
way we do it right now, it just,
Utilization of
all
that
it
camera.
tells us right now, when I run a license plate right now, all it tells us is the vehicle,
Sure.
the year, model, the expiration, the VIN number, the address, and who it's registered to. That's it. It doesn't tell us where it's been, nothing.
But
Okay,
when
so
you have
I
the
think you're
cameras-
misunderstanding his
I guess I
question.
am.
When we have the cameras,
The flock cameras is what you're
Correct.
talking about.
then could that be a second entry to know where that car came from, according to what the flock cameras have recorded coming and going up from the?
I don't believe that would be standard procedure. I don't see any reason why every time we run a license plate from the car for it to be ran through flock. But
But
in
if
my
you
mind, you would
needed
have to have reasonable suspicion that some crime's been committed to do that.
Sure, but if you needed to. it
If
could be
you
done.
needed to, I could go to the computer in the office. Dispatch wouldn't have access to do that. We want to keep it limited to the detectives. Yes, we could put that, we stop a car and we see something in plain view and we believe, okay, I saw something there that I believe was stolen over here. I could put that in there and it could tell me if it had been out on 81 at some point or whatever.
Where it came from.
Yes.
Okay, so let's, there's a gentleman in the back that had his hand up.
So my question is, we're not voting on whether you're getting the cameras or not, or the council's
Right.
not voting on that. They're voting on whether or not to allow, highway patrol to put it up around the city instead of inside.
What they're voting on is whether they allow me to sign an agreement with TxDOT to put it out on the state highway. Right.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. First off, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's okay.
Important issue to me.
You're fine.
So a couple of things. First off, you had kind of said this won't cause taxpayers a dime, but then you had kind of said 20%. There are some ongoing maintenance costs, and there's even a threat of vandalism and, kind of repositioning that I think would fall on the city. The second point you made is that as chief, you hold everybody accountable, you kind of have a tight ship. I believe you, and I want to take you at face value, but what guarantees can you provide for the next chief and the next group?
Well, obviously, I can't do that.
Obviously, and that's my concern. I feel like it's a little bit short-sighted, point of view. And, the third thing is like, I understand that everybody else is doing it. Somebody has to say no, and we don't necessarily want to be everybody else, I don't think, at least I don't.
I understand.
In the language about we're not tracking our citizens, we're just tracking everybody else. I mean, all this language is very frightening to me, and this is kind of how liberty is stripped away. I'm not doubting that you couldn't solve more crimes. I understand it's a useful tool, but we're only talking about the positives. There is a negative side to this. There is a risk, and I just don't think that you're concerned with that.
Oh, I'm concerned with it, and there are risks in everything. I mean, there are all kinds of things that the general public doesn't know the police department can do. all law enforcement agents can do. We have access to other things that we can do, but you have to use it properly within the law.
Are you not concerned about the next chief not having that same approach?
I am, but I can't do anything about that. I can't.
You can prevent him from having this tool. It can be used against us. You can't do something.
But it's not any different than any other tool that could be used wrong.
Like what?
Anything.
It's gone.
Like what?
There's all kinds of things law enforcement uses that we have to make sure we're doing it properly. I'm not going to get into the details. I'm not going to get into the details of the day-to-day operations. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so I don't know what you mean by we've got a lot of tools that we use all the time and you can't name one.
So the
Well, I
cameras are
can't-
coming. We're not, the cameras are coming, regardless of what our vote is.
We have a lady in red that wants to make a comment.
So I would like to know, we've discussed several issues of different evils that have happened with these cameras. What are you gonna do to prevent those? Because all these people, all these big cities are taking them away, so what are you gonna do different? Because history repeats itself, so how are we gonna fix this?
We are only going to allow the 3 investigators and myself to have logins. We will do audits to make sure what they're checking, what they're logging in and requesting, to make sure it is attached to a criminal case or an investigation. And if it's not, if somebody's doing something wrong, that there will be discipline up to and including possibly termination.
Have you looked at other things that you could do different other than block cameras, like have you researched other options?
We are constantly looking at anything and everything we can do to be better. So yes.
Go ahead,
You
Laura.
said that there was is the grant only for flock cameras, or can you use the grant for anything else?
The-
And so are you dead set on flock, are you stuck with flock, or are you choosing flock?
I'm choosing flock. They don't have to be used for flock. That's generally what most of them are used for, but it doesn't have to be.
So we have an option to use it for something else. You're choosing not.
There's some, not a whole lot of options, but there are some other options, yes. There's drones, there's similar things that can be used for.
Go ahead.
You had mentioned that, like, even if they say no to approving, like that it's still going to come and then they're going to come within the city limits. Is that based on, like, your doing, or are you talking about the state doing that?
That would be my doing.
Okay, so because we haven't gotten any of, like, the proposed, text dot, like, the multi-use agreement, and then the resolution 2026-11, that was talked about last time, that's not something that was given to the public in reading. So I am just questioning, in that agreement, that grant application that you had sent that they approved last time, and what does that state that gives you authority to do that?
Well, like I said, it's not any different than any other tool. There's programs or software that we can log into and run somebody's name and find out all kinds of things about them.
But I'm
It's just another tool.
I'm just asking.
I don't come to the council every time and say, well, I want to use this new little program that we use to investigate
No, that's
cases.
understandable, but I'm just asking specifically, like, if you're stating, well, if you guys don't approve this, I have the authority to still move on this. Is that something that was actually stated in the grant that gave you authority by the government as the police?
I think what we're misunderstanding here is the grant is only for the funding.
Correct.
The grant does not write rules.
Right.
So the policy in Bowie is that the police department has, what do we call it earlier today when we were talking about the policy that you set within your own organization, or that is set by the council within the police department, that you buy your own investigative tools. That we don't approve each individual
I
investigator.
don't remember exactly what we
I don't
talked about.
remember exactly how it was worded, but we don't,
What'd you say?
we don't
Yeah, the day-to-day
day-to-day
operations.
operations. So the grant was only for the funding, period. And that only deals with the money. I mean, he doesn't come to us every time he needs new sidearms for the officers.
Yeah, I know, that makes sense, but the way he had stated it, made it seem like, if you guys don't approve the ALPR, readers, then.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
If we don't approve the MOU, mutual understanding, with the Texas Department of Public Safety,
Okay,
that has nothing to do with approving the cameras.
So it's just placement.
it was just.
Yeah.
Essentially.
just
That's only covering the placement of them.
Okay.
Brandon, you were next.
So what I'm gathering is, God chose that we're gonna get these cameras. If we don't vote tonight
That seems a little extreme, but
But with that being said, the council could have a resolution and pass something to ban flock cameras from city limits anyways.
we,
It would be stuck.
I don't know if we could do that or not. I mean, it's an ordinance that the city would have to look at. So regardless, that would be a council decision.
Well, and we also have state highways that are running right through Bowie, so technically, TxDOT
They
put
could
them
wind up in the
right
city
on
limits
Wise,
anyway, yeah.
because the state road runs right down to, right through to the city.
I mean, regardless, we're never gonna get them anyway, but depending on what you guys vote tonight is really saying, or you guys are making a.
The vote tonight, a yay takes them outside the city limits. A no leaves you up for options.
A yes allows me to sign an agreement with TxDOT. That's what it is.
Yes.
What's the obligation we have to TxDOT in that agreement as far as, like, what are we agreeing to with them?
Yeah.
In that
What-
actual agreement?
I forget exactly what it
we're-
says. What does it say there? She can read the
Authorizing
resolution.
the chief of police to enter into a multi-use agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation, allowing the installation and operation of automated license plate recognition cameras in the Texas Department of Transportation right away.
And what's that-
What's happening is they're just saying we can put them in their right of way. That's all it
I'm
is.
sorry.
Yes, you can place those in our right of way.
But we could put them anywhere we want. It's not limited to that.
They don't have to be there. No, you're right. Correct.
If we
But if we want to put anything in the right of way with TxDOT, with the
We
state,
had
you
to
have
have
to
an
have their
agreement.
permission. A sign, if the city wanted to go out here and put a welcome to Bowie sign, you gotta have TxDOT's approval if it's in their right of way. Just like people can't put garage sale signs or for sale signs down here by the rodeo arena, because that's in TxDOT's right of way.
But your statement, to me, made it sound like if we don't approve this, then you're gonna be more invasive with them than if we just
That-
go ahead and approve.
That's not what I was trying to say. I was asked
That's what it sounded like.
what would happen if we don't do that, and I said we would move them on a city street.
Isn't that what I said?
I didn't say, oh, by God, we're going to move that in on a city street and get you. I just said we move it in on a city street. You're inferring on, I'm just stating the fact I was asked a question.
And Guy, I think that one of the things that you and I discussed before is a good place to put it would be at the intersection of Mill and Y Street, at the intersection of Mason and
But those are-
59.
and those are
and
TxDOT.
Y Street, and put them there. But they work better outside the city limits.
They do,
We had that discussion before, so.
right.
You don't want them there, you know, it'd be better outside the city limits.
Oh, I got hands up in there again. We're going to take a few more questions. So the gentleman behind Laura has not had a second question.
Hi. So, I don't have this 100% verified, but a quick search tells me that 47 either cities, towns, or counties have canceled contracts with Flock. 22 have deactivated cameras, 25 have rejected proposed agreements, and 1 has actually banned them in Michigan. If, say, the city council here were to attempt to ban the Flock cameras, would you obey the ban?
Of course.
Okay, also.
I'm going to obey whatever the city council, I enforce the law. I'm not a lawbreaker. So if the council created an ordinance that says we don't want to allow them, then that's what we do. They're the bosses. I'm not trying to be defiant or I'm not trying to be rude or I'm just answering your questions. Sir?
This lady in the back
Absolutely.
there has been waiting
Yeah,
quite
she's been waiting
patiently
for a while.
to.
If you guys vote no and they're not installed outside, who comes in and decides where they get installed? Because it's already a yes.
I will work, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but I mean, just who's deciding? Is it the state that comes in? Do you
No,
decide? it?
it would be me with Flock. We would decide where they went.
Okay, so then at that point, it's not on the outskirts, it's gonna be on the inside.
Right. And I don't think that's the best place to put them on the inside. That's not my desire.
So essentially, we just have a choice. Is it gonna be inside or outside?
I don't think we,
It-
I think that getting boxed into lesser of two evils is a mistake. There's been other cities who have had ordinances to ban these. I don't think we need to
But it's not
think
up
we
to us,
have
it's up to
two
them.
choices here.
Okay, the gentleman back there has a hand up.
Yeah, so obviously I work in tech,
No, no. Yes, sir.
Laura? So, two things real quick. One, with, along the tech line, there's a lot of vulnerabilities that have been, exposed with their system. Two, so we're not stuck with Flock. Flock is not good. Two, what is your plan for damages? Because as in many other cities, I'm not saying it will happen, but if you look at all these other cities that have Flock cameras, there is a lot of vandalism. What is your plan? You said it's not gonna cost the city money, because we have this grants. Well, what's the cost when somebody vandalizes?
I don't know the answer to that. I'll have to get with Flock and specifically ask them if somebody damages it. How do you know that?
Because I've done research.
Okay. Have you talked to Flock? I mean, we can do, no offense, but we can look at the internet and get 15 different answers to the same question. You know, it's just, that's just how it is.
Get the question answered before you sign an agreement.
I understand.
It's gonna cost us more and more money every time, and I think there's gonna be more cost than benefits. And it's just something that's important to look at.
There's a question over here by the door.
I'd like to know, what is the urgency to approve or disapprove this resolution tonight?
Nobody said there was an urgency. It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, so we wouldn't necessarily lose anything were this to be tabled for further discussion. Is that correct?
No, I mean, we wouldn't. I mean, we don't even have the cameras yet, do we?
No.
Yeah.
There's no deadline on this MOU that it has to be signed by a certain date.
I mean, you're gonna want it signed before you get them.
You have to have it signed if you're going to put them there
Yeah.
before you can
So-
move forward.
But there's no time limit, so there's no reason to do things.
I like what
No, this was an agenda item tonight. The council can decide to postpone it. The council can decide to table it. The council can decide to vote on it. Yes, sir.
All right, so I have a couple more that I wanted to get to before, but I got a little bit distracted. Two of them specifically. So I have this written down, so I'm gonna be looking at my phone a little bit.
Okay.
Employees at the company behind Flock cameras were caught using footage from the cameras.
Right.
Specifically including a children's gymnastics room at a community center in Atlanta, a pool area, fitness areas, community spaces, playgrounds, and other school-related footage for advertisement purposes is what they said. Stuff like that.
I don't know any truth to any of that. I don't know any of that for a
It was
fact.
just brought out in a public information act. I don't remember the exact name, but it was
Okay.
you're one of those. Also, like I brought up earlier, I got like halfway through everything I was going to say. That was one of the other ones. There are other officers in other locations who use them for malicious purposes. Do we have any guarantees that they would be able to use information from here?
I can't, I guess the answer would be no. I can't control what another agency does with the information that they get.
The last one, I don't want to like put you on the spot here, but again, he brought up an exact quote, or he didn't exactly quote it. I'm going to exactly quote it right now, but Commissioner Trump, Founding Fathers. This is word for word. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. What is your response to that?
I don't want, I mean, I love America and Texas and Bowie, so I'm not wanting to violate anybody's rights or take anybody's rights or anybody's liberties away from them. That is not the purpose behind, anybody that knows me will tell you that's not my desire.
It's just people who come after you say 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Well, I can tell you this. This gentleman over here, the city manager, he's my boss. So if he or whoever's in that position, when I retire or leave or whatever, if they want to say, hey, we're not going to do that anymore, then they can just, you know, the city manager's the boss. If he tells me, you're not going to do the flocks, I'm not going to do the flocks. So he can tell the next chief, you're not going to do that until you prove whatever they decide.
Guy, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was like, who's saying that?
It's okay. In your professional opinion, you're stating if we put these, you know, you stated that if we put these on the outskirts, you know, do you feel that that would protect us from the state possibly putting more cameras inside the city limits? Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, but I honestly don't know how to answer that because DPS, like I said, they've got one on 81 coming into the state. They are putting them up and down 35. I don't know if they have, what their plans are about putting them. They may decide they want to put one at the intersection of 81 and 59. Nobody's going to be able to stop them if they do. But I have no idea. I don't know if us putting them out, if they're going to go, oh, hey, there's already some there, we're good. I would think possibly that they might not want to bring any more here if it's already in the system. I mean, Jack County's got numerous amounts of them on almost every road coming into Jacksboro. I wouldn't think the state would want to double up the. There would be no reason, I would think, for the state to come here, but I can't speak for them.
So we got, I'm sorry, but we got the city council here to decide if they go in Bowie or outside of Bowie. Who decides that for the state? Who do we talk to like a council here?
I don't know.
about the block camera?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. I can tell you that one of the directors on the board of the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority is Major Sharon Jones with the Department of Public Safety. She's on the board of directors, and she votes on, is one of the voting members that votes if somebody requesting a grant gets it or not. I don't know if she's the person. I'm assuming the colonel of DPS would decide. I don't know. I would assume based on, I don't think the colonel of DPS would go to the governor or every time and say, hey, I want to use this. They're going to give him a budget and he's going to spend it because they're not going to deal with the day-to-day operations, just like the council's not going to do the day-to-day operations of all the other departments in the city. They give you money and they say, these are the city ordinances and this is what you abide by. So, but honestly, I don't know the answer to that.
There's got to be a board that decides if the state even uses it.
I don't know.
It's called the state legislature.
It could be the state legislature. I don't know.
And when we talk about the state doing this or doing that, what's the rate of expansion that the state is doing outside of the majority of populous areas? I mean, we're acting like the state's coming tomorrow to put cameras up.
No, I didn't say that.
And I don't feel like that's
No,
necessarily
I didn't mean to
the-
infer that if I said that. I don't feel that. I'm just telling you there already have some in Montague County. That's all I know.
And to Stephanie's point, regardless of what we do here, the state can still decide they want to put a camera at 59 and 81.
They could, right.
So we're damaged.
Absolutely.
So
Or,
That has nothing to do
I
with
don't
whether
know.
we approve or disapprove.
You know, if we don't do cameras, I don't know if the process, I don't know if the sheriff, because we're in Montague County, I don't know if the sheriff petitions TxDOT and says, there's not any in Bowie, I want one right in the middle of downtown Bowie on the TxDOT right away, and they may say, yeah, you can do that. And the sheriff's getting all the, you know, he's getting the access to the information and being able to check things and do things where we're not. But I don't know the answer to that.
Well, obviously, other cities can get them outside of their city because
Right.
Wichita Falls has one in Sunset.
City of Wichita Falls have one going both directions, right in the middle of
In the
Sunset on
TxDOT.
287.
Right
And
away.
they're getting that information. And they contact us sometimes and say, hey, stolen vehicle went through there. So they do tell us, hey, there's a stolen vehicle go through there, and we go out, hopefully catch them by the time they get to Bowie.
What's the difference in the flock camera and the speed limit sign in Decatur?
I don't know exactly the answer, but I don't think there's anything different.
Are there any better options that make our citizens feel better about the whole situation?
I think an ALPR reader is an ALPR reader, and they're going to probably all be very similar. But I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you.
Yes, ma'am, in the red.
Aren't there other cameras that hold their data for less amount of time?
I don't know the answer to that, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I've seen that the state-owned license plate readers, those are on private servers through the state who owns them. These flock cameras are through a private AI-driven company that we can't, at the back end, control where it goes.
The camera, the flock camera that is on 81 when you come back into Montague County from Texas is a DPS flock camera. We just attended a meeting in Fort Worth, and DPS is contracting with Flock, and they're putting them all over the state of Texas. So it's not a private, it's Flock, just the same, exactly like ours.
Yes, but it's still through a private company.
No, it's Flock.
Flock is a private.
But
Well, but it is Flock. It's not a separate private company is what you're saying it's a separate.
It's a different private company. I'm saying that it is a private company and not state-owned.
Okay, I'm sorry. Misunderstood what you're saying. I'm just saying it's the same thing we're talking about is the point. Okay, all right, just making sure we're on the same page.
He's saying that there's cameras that are owned by the state or not owned by Flock.
That's what I thought he was saying, but the one out here is owned by Flock.
Well, I know, he's talking about this in general.
Okay, I don't know. That's the state. I don't know. I can't answer for them. I don't think that would be cost effective for the city, and it would cost the citizens a lot of money probably because I don't know that the grant would let us just buy our own system and do the, not that I'm aware of.
More than $18,000.
Definitely. Well, I'm
sorry to stir up a whole lot of
We
stuff.
can
Just-
go on all night with this conversation, and I know that there's very few people in the room that are in agreement with this, but it's really up to the council. So now we need to decide where you guys want to go. I can entertain a motion, we can have conversation. I dare say you can table it, but it will be back on the very next agenda if you do that. So,
I'm tempted to say table it, but I don't know that that changes much for what we're talking about in this particular thing. I don't necessarily think I would like to have them in our town, but I understand all the points you've made as well as the citizens here. And to this particular item, I think that it makes sense that they are outside of the area in those right-of-ways, is my thoughts.
And I don't think anybody likes the ideas of the cameras, the systems. The more that we find out about them, the more we realize we're being tracked. And there's very few, if any, that are okay with that. So we share in y'all's thoughts and wants. As far as this vote, I would lean towards the same sentiment as Councilman Shaw in that this would at least clear them of the city, get them outside. On the backside of that, there's also a stopgap in my mind that has been mentioned that the city council at some time, for whatever reason, could also do away with that. Tonight's not that night. Will that night ever come? I don't know. It sounds like there's quite a few in the community, in the state, in the nation that are making that decision, whether it's before, during, or after. And I also feel like with these cameras, there's a lot of good that can happen, but just like any tool, if it's misused, and that's always, that's always going to be, no matter what it is. Unfortunately, we're all human, and there are bad people in this world. So as far as tonight, my motion would be to move forward with it, would be a yes.
So you're making a motion to go forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I have a motion to approve by McEwen. Is there a second from the council?
As long as they stay out of the city limits, I'll second it.
Truax is a second. So I'm going to go with Post.
I have to say no.
McEwen,
Aye.
Sproles,
No.
Holstein,
No.
Truax.
No,
You just,
I'm turning.
He turned.
I'll turn.
okay, no. No, Shaw. Shaw.
The fact that,
Wait a minute, we got to vote.
oh, okay, we're voting, and I got to say something to these people.
Yes.
Okay, so we're a 4-2. Now, that leaves us in, Chief Green's hands.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess Chief Green will just.
Are you
make a
throwing things
decision.
around? I just like to say I'm not mad at anybody for having a different opinion.
Nobody's mad at
We're
anybody.
all on the same,
No.
we all want the best for the town. I'd just like to end with that.
So we will wait to see what the future holds then, I guess, for your floor
Okay.
cameras.
And just,
Yes, sir.
I want to, you in front of everyone, I want you to understand that I am pro-law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't believe that's what this is about. I don't.
No.
And so please don't take it wrong.
No, I don't. I appreciate you saying that you don't have
These
to.
people put me here.
I understand.
and
These
my
people
job
did
is to
put us here.
represent them.
I understand. But I'm not mad at anybody.
And that's kind of what I wanted to say, was the fact that all of you, and so many young people sitting out here, makes my heart feel good to know that you care about the Constitution, you care about your city, you care about this country, and you don't want to be followed, and you don't want anything to
But your
happen.
vote just made that more possible in their backyard.
Unless you guys pay him out of the city limits, and don't let him happen at all.
He can't.
Can't,
He
yeah.
can't. We just said no to that. So
Yeah.
right now, those cameras gotta go somewhere else. That's not what we're doing tonight.
No.
Okay,
Gonna have to, because it's not tonight.
we're gonna save this for another day. So I'm
Thank
gonna
you, Chief.
call the meeting tonight at 6:36.
Guys, thank y'all for coming.
7:36.
Please come to more meetings.
7:36.
Yes.
Thank you all.
I encourage you to come to more meetings.
Yes, that's interesting.
I gave my word that I would say no. I gave my word that I would say no. We don't know now. Yes, because we got that thing that said that measles. Yeah, it looked, when you see high, what do you see? Measles. But when you start reading down the fine print, it's saying high that he's got the antibodies.